This is Dan Simon broadcasting for Channel 11 News at the Battle of Berlin. It is April 16th, 1945, and the battle has just begun. The battle was against Germany versus Russia and Poland. Russian generals include Gregory Zhukov, Konstantin Rokossovsky, Ivan Konev, and German generals include Gotthard Heinrici, Kurt von Tippelskirch, Fernand Schorner, and Helmuth Wielding. To the Germans, this battle is the entire war. If the Russians take Berlin, then the Germans have nothing left and nowhere to go. Losing this battle means an end to the war in Europe for Germany. For Russia and the Allied forces, a victory in this battle means an end to the war in Europe, and therefore they can focus all of their power on the Pacific battlefront. The British, Russians, Polish, and Americans were closing in on Hitler's Germany and were aiming to take the most important city for Germany in the war, Berlin. By April 23rd, Russian and American forces had Berlin completely surrounded, leaving Germany with nowhere to go. The Allied forces then began pushing inward towards the center of Berlin. By the 30th of April, Helmuth Wielding informed Hitler that the German army was running dangerously low on ammunition. Realizing the battle was lost, Hitler killed his wife and dog and then shot himself. Later that day, the Russians were able to invade the Reichstag, which was where the last remainder of the German army fell back to defend. After taking the building, Russians hoisted the Russian flag on top of the building, signaling the victory of the Russians. Shortly after, Joseph Goebbels, the newly appointed Chancellor of Germany, committed suicide. He was the last remaining leader of Germany who was unwilling to surrender. On May 2nd, Wielding ordered the German army to surrender to the Soviets. 5 days later, President Admiral Dönitz signed an unconditional surrender of Germany, marking the end of the war in Europe and an Allied victory. The Russians were able to claim victory because they outnumbered the Germans in just about every category. They outnumbered them 5-1 in men, 15-1 in artillery, 16-1 in tanks, and 3-1 in planes. 45,000 German-trained troops were assisted by the compulsory Hitler Youth and the Volkssturm, which was made up of older men, women, and children, compared to almost 1 million Russian soldiers. With the German surrender, the war in Europe had come to an end. Germany was taken to be divided into 4 sections. This now separated Germany from the Soviet Union at Berlin itself. This would become the struggle in the Cold War just 2 years later, which lasted until the early 1990s.